This is Daily Flash with Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Broadcasting worldwide and streaming. Daily Flash. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
I'm Andrea Jackson.
And I am Mitch English, welcoming you to Daily Flash, today's talks and tomorrow's trends. So glad to have you here as we kick off this Monday. You doing all right?
I'm doing okay. How about yourself?
Not too bad. Ready to go for this week. We got a lot of stuff planned for today.
Yes.
But the most important part of our show is YOU, and we need you to get on the action. You can follow us everywhere. Subscribe on YouTube. You got TikTok, you got Instagram, Facebook. All of it's there waiting for you. And what's really exciting is that you can now sound off on our website. You can either A, send us an email at flash@dailyflashshow.com, or just press the sound off button on our website, either on your computer or your phone, and you can leave us a voice message, and you could hear your voice right here on the air. Our website is dailyflashshow.com, so grab your phone, follow, like, and join the Flash Nation now.
I'm going E, all of the above.
Yeah, all the above.
All of the
Very
above.
nice.
I love them.
Not
Yes.
too terribly bad. Every day we always ask you our question of the day.
Yes, we do. Okay, so here it is. What's a moment that completely changed your perspective?
Oh, boy, there's so many of them. As you get
Yeah.
older, you come across things like this.
It's true, yeah.
You know, when you find out, I think the biggest thing is when you find out a celebrity has, well, for me it is at least, has the same political affiliation as you do, you know, and you're kind of like, really? I thought that person was like very, whatever, opposite of what I was. I love moments like this because I always feel like when I met my wife, Liza, she was, you've heard this story.
I love this story. Tell it
She was
again.
way too tall.
Yeah.
Like she's 2 inches taller than me, so I saw her and I go, all right, well, she's not gonna like me. I'll just be myself.
This isn't gonna work out.
I don't
Who cares?
care.
Yeah.
And I was just so normal. And I got talking to her, and I thought like she was this prim and proper kind of person. And then I come to find out she's nothing like what I thought. And I love when people break those stereotypes.
Yes.
I mean, so that perspective. Do you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
I think too, like you mentioned Hollywood, I mean, there's a moment, I think, where you start to kind of step away from, especially in our business, the glitz and glamour of Hollywood, and you kind of see the behind the scenes, which isn't always so great. And that's a little disappointing. And so I think it takes a little bit of the glitz and the glamour away.
I think that's why I commend Disney so much, is because they make sure that nobody sees the magic that happens. Because once you do, the magic's gone, right? It's like if you came here on our set, you would be like, oh, I see how they do that.
Yeah.
It looks like this. But a lot of times in you go see movies, it's like, that's it, that's all you do. Like, this thing will fall apart. Anyway, so it's all about perspective. And I think it's important to change your perspective throughout life.
I do too.
Because
Yeah.
you got blinders on, you're thinking one way, and times are changing.
But I don't see the harm in having an open perspective and listening to all sides, because I think
point.
in this day and age, a lot of folks are so, it's either my way or the highway. You can agree with me, and if you don't, then I don't want anything to do with you. And I think that's really unfortunate, because I think you're missing out on having a really great conversation with someone.
And you're not going to learn anything if you stay in these echo chambers of like Twitter, and you're only hanging around people that believe the same way you do.
Yeah.
You are not growing.
Yeah.
You are becoming more angry because now you have people that are just as mad as you are, and you're not feeding into it and not dealing with the issues. A little heavy on this Monday,
True.
but still,
True.
we need to change our perspectives on even
We
small
do.
things.
And you bring up social media, and I think that's a really good point. Movie moment, speaking of movies, F1, Brad Pitt.
Oh, yeah.
He's the driver. He's got a younger guy, and this younger guy is obsessed with social media, and he goes, dude, it's just noise. Do what you do best. And I'm paraphrasing, but I thought that was such a great moment in that movie to say, look, you know what, it matters what you're doing in the moment. All of this stuff is just nonsense.
Right.
It doesn't really exist other than on your phone.
I love that. That's very good.
So good.
Who knew Brad Pitt can make us change something? First, he's Thelma and Louise, and now he's teaching us
I know.
all kinds of stuff.
I love me some Brad Pitt.
We need some good education,
Yes,
right?
we do.
I think
Very
it's
true.
important.
Well, we want you to sound off on all of our social channels. Leave us a message at dailyflashshow.com. Give us your moment that your perspective
I would like to hear
changed.
that.
Share that with us.
It's important because it helps us. Like, oh yeah, maybe we can be looking for those moments in our lives too to help us change.
You never know what kind of light bulb moment somebody else could have because of your perspective.
Good point.
Well, could students at Harvard be saying goodbye to straight A's? A committee of faculty members advised the school to adopt a 20% cap on A's to beat back what they are calling grade inflation. Students are having a meltdown, with one claiming the move would mean life wouldn't be worth living. And I thought Yale was known as the drama school. The proposal would restore some much-needed meritocracy to the grading system at the Ivy League school. Recent report revealed the current inflated grading system does not differentiate students and suggested that an A should represent extraordinary distinction. The proposal will come to a full faculty vote ahead of the next school year. The report shows that the proportion of A's has exploded within the last decade. In the 2012 academic year, just 35% of grades awarded were A's, compared with 66% last year.
All right, so there's parts of me that's like, because I don't like that everybody gets a trophy
Yes.
thing. Okay, so, but I don't think that's what they're kind of going after for this. Correct me if I'm wrong. It seems like it's like, are you really giving an A? Let's say you do everything right, but maybe too many people, or maybe you just did one thing wrong or whatever, and you're not part of that 20. Are they saying that only 20% of the students are going to get an A in that class? Doesn't that have some kind of prejudice from the teacher?
Well, I think what's happening is there's this whole conversation about whether grades are worth handing out in general, right? So if you're giving everybody an A in the class, and also that changes, sometimes in some cases, it changes the professor's success rate, right? If a professor is handing out A's to everyone in the class, their success rate is X, Y, and Z, and that may end up putting him or her in a different category for payment or tenure. Again, that's a possibility. But I think this whole era of handing everybody out an A in the class just for showing up is what they're trying to get to and eliminate that and really reward an A grade for excellence in achievement.
Thank you for explaining that. And that makes more sense to me. I think I'm more on board with that. I also, as you were talking, it made me realize when you go to your doctor, that may be a Harvard doctor or your Harvard lawyer, just remember, and D's get degrees.
D's get degrees.
Right? And when you were in school, wasn't 70, like if you had anything below 70 was an F, right?
I remember it as below 70 was a D or an F.
See, 70? My school was 70 was an F.
Oh, really?
And below 70, like a 69 would be an F.
Okay.
But 70 would be a D.
Okay.
And now I've noticed that schools are doing 65 is a D, and anything below 65.
Yes, you're right. 70, yes, you're right. 70 below was an F.
So and why they changed that, I don't know. I guess probably the same reason, is that they were having too many people, they're getting 68s, and I can understand that because if you're trying to, wow, there's so many kids that were getting 68s that could have maybe got a D and passed, but they got an F. But this is a little bit different story, it sounds like. This is just really going after the teachers, it sounds like.
Yeah, but then again, like the whole conversation about do grades really matter? And I think you've got to have some measurement of success, right? Because you've got to inspire people to show up to class and do the work.
Should you get I have to deal with homework right now. You don't turn in an assignment, but you can turn it in later. And you can still get graded on it. I'm like, well, what about deadlines, right?
Exactly. What does that teach a student? That it's okay to be late?
But I guess because it's objective management, meaning that, okay, here's the assignment you have to have done, right? I guess they would have to say, okay, but I need this done by X point, however you get to that point, just give me the correct answer is what I need. However you get there, I don't care. I can appreciate that way of thinking, but it seems like the deadlines are very important in order to be able to turn it. And so when you have a kid that goes, well, I can just make this up later, but that's not how life is.
No.
If I needed something like a life insurance policy and then I didn't turn it in on time, I don't get to cash it in.
And you get hit by a bus the next day. You can't tell God, well, I put that life insurance policy together.
I was working on it. I just didn't turn it in.
Didn't sign
it's a big difference. I think speaking of grades, and then going all the way back to everybody gets a trophy, I think there needs to be something. I appreciate grading, what grades did, because it kind of let me know how I was. If you ask me, how were you in school?
Yes.
I was a D student. You know what I'm saying? It's easier to do it that way. But but automatically you kind of label me as like, well, you don't, but you would label me as like, oh, he didn't do very well.
Yes.
But maybe I did some other classes I might have done even better.
Right. And I think it's also kind of a chance to kind of mark your success rate in certain categories. Maybe you're
you
great
go.
at math
That's
and you get an
yes.
A. Maybe you're horrible at English and you get a D. At least it gives you some kind of direction to go in with regard to your natural skills and talents.
See, Jackson is really good. She's an A explaining Mitch English, so I appreciate that. You know what I can explain is good eats. And how about just weird eats? John Graham is going to be joining us coming up right around the corner with another edition of What Did I Just Eat?
Yes, we also have some celebrity real estate
These are
for you,
fun.
and Tony has our screen chatter.
So if you go anywhere, you're going to miss out on that.
Yep.
Here's our brain flash question of the day before we head to break. Which animal is the symbol of
I know
the
this.
World Wildlife Fund? Don't say the answer yet, Jackson.
Well-
We'll have the answer after this break and before we kick it off with What Did I Just Eat when we return. Hey everybody, welcome back to Daily Flash. Before we jump into What Did I Just Eat, let's go to our Brain Flash question of the day and our answer. I'll give you the question. What animal is the symbol for the World Wildlife Fund? Jackson, you got an idea?
Here it is, the answer we've all been waiting for.
It's a panda, right?
Panda.
Panda is the answer
Panda,
there for that.
yes.
And if you ever look, you know, WWE, the wrestling had to change their name from WWF. And so now there's a panda that is holding a chair like a wrestler. It's awesome. Hey, welcome back to the big show. Mitch English along with Andrea Jackson. We are here in the Daily Flash kitchen.
Yes, we are. The new year brings some new weird foods and some things you're going to see on the store shelves, and that's where John Graham lets us
Yeah.
know. What did I just eat? John, welcome back.
Hey, buddy.
Thanks for having me. I figure we start off with a Jenny's Ice Cream collaboration with a TV show. I'm going to give you a hint here.
Okay.
Dearest gentle reader.
Bridgerton.
Bridgerton.
Bridgerton,
Yep.
okay.
We've got new episodes coming on the 26th, and so we have two collaboration ice creams. We've got Earl Grey Creme Brulee and Queen Charlotte Sponge Cake. I'm going to hand those to you guys. You can fight over which one you want to try.
Okay, I'll
A couple of
try this one.
spoons for you. Now, these are available at Jenny's Ice Cream shops,
Love
scoop
Jenny's.
shops around the country, a lot of gourmet supermarkets, and also by order. You can have it actually delivered to your house. So Earl Grey Creme Brulee is like, did you mention that one you got?
Yeah, I got Earl
So
Grey.
Earl Grey Creme Brulee is
I
a
like
little
that.
bit
Wanna
of
try this one?
green
Let's try
tea, a
this
little
one.
bit of black tea, bergamot, that's the orange flavor that gives it the Earl Grey thing, and then little bits of toffee to kind of simulate the scorched top of a creme brulee. And
Love both
Queen
of those.
Charlotte Sponge Cake is almond buttercream ice cream that gives you kind of a little frosting flavor there.
Really good.
And then ribbon of rosemary jam. Rosemary, I keep saying rosemary because I put it together.
Okay.
Raspberry rose jam.
I can buy
Very
it.
fancy.
we have
And
switched.
also honey sponge cake.
Yeah, there we go.
And it's lavender because that's the way the queen would want it.
These really are rich tasting too, which if you watch the show is all about being
I would
love-
almost
yeah.
recommend pausing the show to actually pay attention because these are so many complex
love Jenny's.
flavors. Yeah.
I grew up eating Little Debbie's. They got a new offering?
Yeah, complete switch from Bridgerton. We're going to Little Debbie. These are their new banana pudding cream pies. Give them a try there.
Okay.
I think the biggest handicap here is I like them, but they taste like banana candy. They don't taste like banana pudding.
Okay.
So if you like Laffy Taffy, if you like
Man, you were
circus
right on the
peanuts,
money,
they
yes.
taste like that. And if
right
you
on the
love
money.
those, you'll love these. I think it's a great addition to the line. But if you're looking for Grandma's banana pudding, it's not quite that flavor.
Well, you know why? Because they took it's pudding.
Pudding, yeah. It's Little Debbie, but it's banana pudding.
Pudding.
Yeah.
Right?
Up third, we're going to cleanse the palate a little bit because more sweet stuff to come. This is Kettle Brand potato chips. These are spicy kimchi potato chips. And if you were in the room, I think you can smell
Yes,
the
I
cabbage
wondered
powder
what that
in
was.
the air.
Yes, okay.
There's a lot of onion, garlic, vinegar,
Ooh.
and cabbage powder.
Okay.
I like them, but they're very different.
Is it going to hit me
Like,
late?
it's like-
Kinda.
yeah, they're not they're
yeah.
not like superpower strong as far as the spice, but it's definitely there.
Okay, and these are available. These are available now.
Yeah, they're
right?
just showing up in stores now. If your grocery store has Kettle Brand, and you don't see this, wait a couple of weeks. I had to wait a couple of weeks. They should eventually show up.
Ooh,
You're going
I
to have to
like
like
that. Yeah.
kimchi.
I like that more people are using avocado oil.
Mm-hmm.
for
You're starting to
chips
see
and
that
popcorn.
that trend is actually having
A lot, not all of their chips, but a lot of their chips do, and they're doing all kinds of crazy flavors. Where I wrote them down here. Oh, let's see. There we go. Peppercini, chamoy. They've actually got apple cider vinegar, and they've got truffle oil as
apple
well.
cider vinegar.
Yeah, I
For
like
some
that.
reason, that very intriguing.
Well, like salt and vinegar.
sounded.
Yeah, salt and vinegar,
Yeah.
except just with the cider. Now we got 3 M&Ms here. This is the bakery collection. These are all temporarily on the market. If people vote for them online and say they like them, they could all stick around. Let's see. First one is chocolate cherry cupcake. That's your basic M&M. The chocolate is a little milk chocolate, a little dark chocolate. It kind of splits the difference.
Okay.
And then there's the cherry in there as well. Not so much cupcake. I think that's more just to fit it in the bakery collection. Lemon meringue pie.
Okay.
Those are obviously you can tell they're lemon meringue pie from the colors there. White chocolate, lemon essence, and little bits of crisped rice, as we say, because it's not
that
Rice
one.
Krispies, it's crisped rice.
These all taste the same? They're just
Yeah,
different
they're all the
colors?
same, yeah.
Okay.
And then the third one is, I've never heard of this before, but peanut butter cinnamon roll. So what they do is they took the basic, it's been around for a few years now, the basic peanut butter M&M, and they put the cinnamon and butter flavors in the peanut butter. Then the chocolate and the coating on the outside are more traditional.
I'm getting a little late on that one too, but it's good. I like that.
Yeah.
Not a big fan of the cherries. I'm digging the lemon.
Interestingly enough, it's the chocolate cherry ones that I had a hard time finding around Valentine's Day. People were buying that one up first to give to their sweetie. And so now all three of these are in the store in this big size and a smaller size. They call the smaller size shareable. I think this one's pretty shareable too.
Yeah.
But and then the idea is you can vote online and maybe they'll stick around.
Okay.
They are here for a limited time.
And more companies are doing that. I think it's kind of smart, like trying out
Yeah.
new things.
M&M was one of the first to start playing around with different, like that's why we have peanut butter M&Ms because
Yeah.
they added those and people liked them enough that they stuck around.
Which leads us to Oreo.
Yeah, Oreos.
That is almost their
Oreo's been
campaign
going crazy. They were another innovator in doing all kinds of weird
I like
flavors.
the faces.
Now this one here, everybody pick up one. These are the Stuff of Legends. They taste like regular Oreo cookies. I'll get to why in just a second. But it's a partnership with Marvel. I believe it's 32 different heroes and villains on the cookies themselves.
Yeah.
Now I was going to tell Mitch to give it a lick first before he just piled it.
I
into his
already
mouth.
did it 2
Here, give us a big smile. Stick out your tongue, Mitch.
Oh,
That's
blue.
what it's all about.
Oh, wow!
So the filling tastes traditional, and it's a little gray, and then if you give it a lick, it will turn blue.
It tastes like Iron Man.
And then as you chew it
dropped
up,
mine.
it's gonna taste the same, but you'll get a little bit of the cookie, a little bit of that blue frosting. Your mouth's gonna turn blue, your teeth, and maybe your lips, which is, if you're 7 years old at the lunch table, is fantastic. If you're a grown-up hosting a TV show and has more segments to do, we'll see how it happens. We'll see what happens.
If you're an adult at home whose wife is a doctor of nutrition, you can't get that because
Yeah.
You're waiting for her to leave for the weekend.
I didn't have
Now remember,
it. What are you talking about?
Oreo cookies are vegan for what that's worth.
Oh, that's very
Yeah.
nice. John,
I'm
thank you
using
so
that.
Yeah, yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Always great to have you. If you want more information on all these products, you can head to our website, dailyflashshow.com. And also, John has his own website, thatguyontv.com.
All kinds of pop culture there. Everything from Glenn Campbell's lesser hits to why Kermit the Frog is left-handed.
Ah!
Did I know? Wow, I'm going to learn something. And no blue tongues on there as well, so you don't have to
No,
worry about
I'm
that.
gonna
John
try
Graham,
this
we
now.
love having you in.
Yes,
That's
thank
our
you,
Right,
John.
weekend.
appreciate it.
We got more Flash coming up right around the corner. Stick around, see if my tongue is still the same color when I return.
Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. Let's do some trending stories that's going on in the world. It looks as if a world-renowned chef is now bringing his destination dining experience to Los Angeles and actually plans to charge folks $1,500 a ticket to go eat there.
Ooh.
He's a Danish chef, and he's going to open up a pop-up version of his famous Copenhagen restaurant Noma from March until June of this year. Now, he set it on the high price tag to help cover the cost of bringing, you ready for this, 130 staff members over from Denmark. Now, he says he's going
Wow.
to use the profits to help pay for their housing, transportation, and childcare. Thousands of reservations, believe it or not, have already been submitted. Availability, you can imagine, very limited. 42 seats will be served each day, 4 days a week. And I guess this is an easier, cheaper way you can get some of his food instead of going to Denmark. There's many places around here. There's a sushi place. They only allow 6 people in at a time.
You've been there.
Yes, and I love it. And you get a half hour and then you pick whatever you want. But what I appreciate about it, since it's a small group, the sushi, there's 2 chefs, I guess, sushi
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
chefs. They could talk to you, explain to you what you're
Yes.
doing and that sort of thing. Asian food seems like there's a lot of places like that where you just pay a blank price.
Yeah.
And you sit down and you eat, and it's small amounts of people eating at the same time.
Small
Very
people.
small people because the tables are very low to the ground.
Yes, they're very sad. They have to have small people
Yes,
to
very small
accommodate the
people.
lower bench. Have you ever done the communal eating thing?
I've not. I've eaten like at a German beer hall kind of
Yeah.
thing where you would sit down next to somebody like a cafeteria. but other than
We went to a place in Cumberland Island, and they served dinner, but it was everybody had to eat together, and it was really kind of cool because you get to meet so many different people. And at first I wasn't sure if I would like it because, it's just like you're having dinner and you kind of want to just save it for the person that you're sharing it with. But then once you sit down, it's just kind of nice to be at a big dinner table with a bunch of different people.
And you don't have to worry. Hopefully, they would have your condiments close by, so you don't have to talk to them. Hey, can you pass that? So, bed and breakfasts. If you ever say that's that is a weird thing for me because you wake up in the morning and you're sitting down with these people that you've never seen before.
Right.
But once you get past it, like you're right.
Yeah,
you
but I
find
think
out they're feeling the same way you are.
Yeah, and I think dinner is a little different. They gave you the option if you wanted to sit by yourself or sit with a group. But then it's funny because the people who sat by themselves, it was one couple, and they were kind of like, "Well, why are you sitting by yourself?"
Yeah, made them look. You wound up looking ostracized.
Kind of like, kind of jerky. Actress Jennifer Lawrence is in the doghouse with a few fans after she rehomed one of her dogs. J-Law's dog bit her young son, and she asked her parents if they would take the dog. That should have been the end of story, but no. Cue the internet outrage. She chose a child over a pet, and many see it as some kind of a moral failure. Others say the dog is lucky to still be alive. Many dogs who bite children don't get a second chance. Some say it's a chance or a change in culture where pets are now considered the equals to children.
Have you, do you know anything about her story, Jennifer Lawrence? She's, by the way, my new celebrity crush.
Is she?
She's my hall pass now.
Okay.
After that one movie she did where she played like a date.
Yes.
And she beat up these dudes completely naked on the beach.
The Netflix movie.
It
was a Netflix movie, wasn't it?
I can't remember the name of it really quick, but I was like, all right, I love her. And then I found out she's from Kentucky, and she grew up, and she was one of these where like didn't really want to get in. She just got noticed.
In New York, wasn't it?
In New York. And Taylor Sheridan, did you hear about this? Yeah, on SmartList. That's where I heard all this. and Taylor Sheridan coached her when Taylor Sheridan was just an actor or whatever, and she doesn't know if he even remembers training her or whatever. So I like her. It seems like that's a responsible thing to do, don't you think?
I think so.
And not have to give it away, but give it to a family they can go see it.
And here's the thing, dogs have bad days, right? I mean, it happens. I mean, so the fact that she was able to rehome the dog with her parents and give it a better situation, you never know. Could have been a big dog living in a small apartment in New York. Who knows? But like, live and let live.
Live and let live. And I love getting emails, so I'm about to get a bunch when I say, if you call your pet your fur baby, it's not a baby. I found, as I said, I try putting your real skin baby up to a tree in the backyard for overnight. It ain't gonna happen.
No.
So there is a big difference here, and I think the people that are probably outraged are those that might think that way.
Although as your dog gets older, you can put a diaper on it.
That's no experience there.
No experience, but I'm just
That's some new tricks for an old dog.
Story.
Very nice.
Yes.
Oh, that's a very good point,
Yeah.
right. Sometimes life a little stranger than fiction.
Yeah.
There's a singer that just celebrated her 50th birthday. How? By marrying her dog.
Okay, come on.
Yeah. You can love your pet, you just can't
love
your
your
pet.
pet.
Singer Jenny Lewis
Who?
recently
Okay, yeah.
shared her puppy love with her social media following. The former child star turned 50 and decided to join forces with her cockapoo named Bobby Rhubarb. The intimate ceremony was attended by a few close friends, bandmates. Posts on Instagram from Consequence Daily included 4 photos showing off the backyard ceremony. Hopefully it was all just done in jest and, that it ended there. Let's just hope.
Let's just hope that's the situation. And she just was doing it for clicks and likes and followers.
Thinking she did. If you're going to marry a dog named Bobby Rhubarb, I wonder if she took her name. Yeah.
Is she Mrs. Rhubarb?
Jenny Rhubarb. Who knows?
She now Mrs. Rhubarb.
We have got more of today's talk, tomorrow's trends, still to come right here on Daily Flash. Going to kick off a whole nother half hour right around the corner. Stick around.
This is Daily Flash with Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Broadcasting worldwide and streaming. Daily Flash. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mitch English.
I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash. Today's trends, tomorrow's talk. Before we do a darn thing, we've got to highlight some of our stations across the nation.
Absolutely. Let's first off find out exactly who is out there watching with our little local friends. Of course, we're seeing all over the United States in 219 different markets, of course, from streamers to YouTube, even on the American Forces Network. We love our local friends, and today, believe it or not, we're going to head all the way up to the cheese state. I always call it the cheese state, but it's actually the Badger state, and that's Wisconsin. Wausau, Wisconsin, WJFW in Wausau. That is home to Rib Mountain. Believe it or not, I don't know how they've cut it, but it's, and figured it out, but it's 1.7 billion years old.
Have you ever been to McRib Mountain?
No, I've not. They only comes around every once in a while.
Yeah, it's right next to Shamrock Shake Village.
Is that what it is? Yeah. Inside those Shamrock Shakes could be ginseng. Wausau is actually the ginseng capital of the world. I never knew this. I love doing this research. It's also the largest curling facility in the United States. Even though curling is more of a Canadian sport, they're kind of close to Canada, so.
Can I stop you right there?
Please do.
The Olympics have been on, and it's been wonderful to watch the Winter Olympics. I have watched curling, and as much as I've watched it, I still don't understand a darn thing about it.
All I know is that you're not allowed to touch it after you let go. That Canadian learned.
I did learn that.
We learned because I always thought Canadians never cussed because they were always polite. But
Not the case.
Not the case at all. All right. Think about your vehicle right now. Would you, well, Jackson, I already know this answer. Would you let somebody get in your vehicle right now if you were like, they were a germaphobe or something like that? Like if you knew that this person just hates germs. Do you think you're comfortable enough with the way your car looks?
I think so. I try and keep a really clean car.
I brought my wife's car in today, but my truck, I think if you sit up front, it's okay. I think once you get a truck, everything in the back just winds up back there. There's tools, all kinds of stuff.
And in the truck bed itself or in the back seat?
The back seat. I got
because it's got those little
long cab. Yeah. So they did a survey of about 2,000 people, and they wanted to find out exactly, their conditions of their car. And this is some of the things that they have found out. 34% of car owners, 34%, said they would actually be embarrassed if someone looked inside their vehicle right now. Of that, they said they'd see 33% would say they had random clothes. 21% said there is actual food on the floor.
Oh, come on.
36% says, yeah, you're going to find bottles and cans. I think that's what you find in mine. Now, of those, 50% say that the current state of their car is basically a fair reflection of their personality. And that explains a lot. And I think it does. Your car is always immaculate, nice, and beautiful, just as you are. So I understand that. Me, the front looks great because it's functional. In the back, where nobody really should have or have to go, you don't see it, kind of like the behind the scenes. It's chaotic.
It's like a mullet.
Party in the front, or party in the back, and business in the front. That's 100%. That's very good. I have the mullet truck is what I have.
The mullet truck.
This is interesting, too. Out of those 2,000, 19% say that their car actually constantly shifts from being clean to chaotic.
Really?
And I think that goes down to, man, I got to clean out the car, and I got to do that. And that's probably, they probably get somebody else to do it, they say.
Yeah.
And of that, and this might make you feel a little bit better, Gen Z say they're actually most likely to claim that their car is clean.
Oh.
Altogether. So there, it tells you a little bit about, they're taking care of their vehicles.
Yeah.
And that they're okay with maybe, and if it goes back to a reflection of their life, it's saying maybe it's a little more organized than we might be claiming.
My other half, Alan, is obsessed with a clean car. So he's at the car wash at least once a week. And I love that. And that makes me make sure that my vehicles are clean or my vehicle is clean. And it just, I think it makes you feel better.
100%, you drive 100%. You drive better. You drive your vehicle better when it's nice and clean because you're like, all right,
you're not distracted.
It feels like the news car. No, not distracted, but it's also like, I don't want to mess this up.
Yeah.
All right. We have got more Flash coming up right around the corner here. We're going to do some celebrity real estate.
Yes, we also have Tony Toscano. He's got his latest screen chatter to share with us.
And hopefully before you jump into your clean car, you'll catch more of today's talk. Tomorrow's trends right here on Daily Flash. Stick around. We're going to be back with celebrity real estate when we return. Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. It's time for us to look at the lifestyles of the rich and famous. Let's dive into some celebrity real estate.
We will start with Alec and Hilaria Baldwin's historic Hamptons home in Long Island. The modern farmhouse, which dates back to 1740, recently cost $1 million, or recently, I should say, got a $1 million discount. The couple relisted the property back in December, marking the fourth time they've tried to sell it. The classic Hamptons home spans 10,000 square feet with about 7 bedrooms and 9 bathrooms. It offers the usual array of luxe amenities, including a library, a movie theater, a wine room, a pool, and a spa. The farmhouse has been on and off the market with an initial listing price of $29 million back in 2022.
Does not have a shooting range on there, so that's probably if you're looking for that.
Good thing.
All right, moving forward with some musicians like Bob Dylan. He once called this Harlem townhouse his home. Dylan actually bought it in 1986, later sold it for $560,000. Well, now that historic property can be yours for $2.75 million, $250,000 less than its $3 million asking price. That was just 6 months ago. The 19-foot wide, 5-bedroom spread built in 1893.
Wow.
The home opens up to a wood panel entry that leads to a grand salon. There's a large chef's kitchen that includes a wine fridge and a terrace as well. There are 6 fireplaces to keep you nice and warm, original stove, and a 4-foot tall safe. Actually, that's now being used as a bar.
Just 1 year after relocating to the English countryside, Ellen DeGeneres has purchased a $27.4 million estate in Montecito, California. This move has intensified speculation about whether her overseas experiment was a complete bust. The Montecito property purchase comes as her primary UK residence remains listed for sale. DeGeneres has been one of Hollywood's most active property investors for more than 2 decades. She frequently buys, renovates, and resells real estate.
And just months after the death of fashion icon Giorgio Armani, his New York City penthouse is now on the market with a, believe it or not, $10 million price tag.
Ooh.
The custom design apartment. It's got more than 2,000 square feet. It's got a semi-private elevator, opens up into the entryway, and the views show off Madison Avenue with oversized windows, 10-foot ceilings, custom wood flooring. Additional touches include a sculptured powder within onyx sculptures and Armani design lighting, of course. Residents of the Armani building have access to a fitness studio, spa, a tea room, as well as a terrace furnished with Armani furniture. So you can imagine.
It's Heart Health Month, and cold weather can actually put extra strain on your heart. Dr. Tiffany DiPietro joins us with tips to help keep your heart strong through these cold winter months.
Yes, as a cardiologist, I always encourage my patients to be proactive about heart health, especially in their 40s and beyond, and especially in colder temperatures. Your heart is one of the hardest working muscles in your body and relies on energy to function properly.
Okay, Doc, so what do you recommend?
When it comes to supplements, I recommend Cunol Ultra CoQ10. CoQ10 is a key nutrient your body uses to produce that energy at the cellular level, and no part of the body requires more energy than the heart. While our bodies naturally produce CoQ10, those levels do begin to decline with age and can also be affected by some medications. By helping supply the energy the heart needs to function properly, CoQ10 helps support vascular health and healthy blood pressure. So I recommend incorporating targeted supplementation along with lifestyle habits like a balanced diet and regular exercise, which can be beneficial to keeping your heart healthy. Regular CoQ10 found in many other supplements is poorly absorbed because it doesn't dissolve well in water. Cunol Ultra CoQ10 is different. It's water and fat soluble to provide up to 3 times better absorption compared to regular CoQ10, helping people increase CoQ10 levels in just weeks. A healthy heart supports everything you do, and Cunol is the brand that can help you champion your heart health. Cunol Ultra CoQ10 soft gels are available in 60 and 120 count starting at $25.99 at all major retailers, including Walmart, CVS, and Costco. Just go to Cunol.com. You can find all of the information you need about all of the Cunol products, including the Cunol Ultra CoQ10.
For generations, mankind has depended on one sacred device, the home television, a portal to laughter, heartbreak, and that one weird British baking show you swore you'd only watch once. But after 5 long days of labor, housework, and endless carpool lines, one question still haunts humanity. What do you binge this weekend?
Fear not, the experts are here. Join Daily Flash every Friday for Streaming for the Weekend. Because life's too short for bad TV.
Streaming for the weekend every Friday, only on Daily Flash.
Streaming for the weekend.
You're watching Daily Flash. Time now for The Scene with Doreen.
Are you ready to be blinded by science? Well, on today's The Scene with Doreen, I sit down with new wave music pioneer Thomas Dolby. He's heading out on a new tour this spring, and I can't wait to dig in. Check it out. I'm going to jump right in. Okay, young boy, London. Is it true you found your first synthesizer in a dumpster?
Yes. There was a big strike in the late 70s, and the garbage wasn't being picked up, and you could get the most amazing things in dumpsters at the time. And there was a little synthesizer store in South London that made the EMS synth. And I was fishing through the dumpster outside there, I think in their alleyway, and I found the circuit board to a synthesizer, and I took it home and soldered it together and got it working.
Okay, you're a young boy. You're working as a grocer part-time. You're trying to, navigate just being a teenager. Where did this knowledge of technology come from? Because it wasn't really readily available in the 70s.
Well, there was a magazine called Popular Electronics that had circuit boards in it, and I used to pick that up and read it avidly. Yeah, I mean, synthesizers at the time were really a dream. They were owned by rich rock stars or university experimental music departments or recording studios. They weren't really available to people on the street, so this was really thrilling to be able to get my hands on one.
The scientist thing. Why the scientist?
MTV was starting to take off, and I persuaded my first record company, EMI, that I needed to make a video, and this was a way to sort of break through, get past the resistance of radio to play my kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So they gave me the budget to do it, and I wrote a storyboard for it. And all I really had was the title and the storyboard. The title was She Blinded Me with Science. And I thought, okay, well, if I were to hire a bona fide scientist for the video, then it would make me look cool, and I could have the accoutrements of a sort of chic trench coat and a vintage motorcycle and sidecar and a hot Japanese assistant. And I hired this BBC scientist called Dr. Magnus Pyke.
She blinded me with science.
Was he happy with the final product?
He was a bit of a diva, quite frankly. And the last time I saw him after the video, I asked him how he was, and he said, "Bad, Dolby." So why is that, Dr. Pyke? He said, "I just got back from America, and everywhere I walked, I'd go down the street and somebody would come up behind me on the sidewalk and yell, 'Science!' And it would scare me out of my skin." I said, "Because it would appear that your bloody MTV video is more known over there than my body of scientific work."
While I'm impressed by the size of my chest, she's not an intellectual giant.
So you're going to be heading out on tour this spring, and it's really exciting that you're going to be blending all of these songs and stories and musical memories from the 80s.
I think for a lot of people that lived through the 80s and younger people that have gone back there and sort of discovered the treasure trove of music that happened in the 80s, it's just an amazing sort of voyage and very personal, very authentic. This is not a tribute band. This is somebody that was actually there and experiencing all of those things firsthand.
And what's old is new again.
It's nice that it's all come around, and I never split up and got back together, but I am the only surviving member of the original Thomas Dolby, so there's a certain authenticity when you come and see my shows.
ThomasDolby.com. Explore all of his music. Check out upcoming tour dates for his spring 2026 tour, and just stay connected to the wonderful and talented Thomas Dolby.
It's great to be here, Doreen. Thank you so much.
And if you want to hear more of our incredibly scientific conversation, visit here. I'm Doreen Taylor with The Scene with Doreen here at the Daily Flash each week. See you next time.
We've got some very important new information for a healthy heart.
Half of U.S. adults have hypertension, yet 75% lack control over it.
The Hypertension Control Alliance campaign, Hypertension Bites, wants to help people keep their blood pressure below 130/80. Know your numbers, improve your daily habits, and talk to your doctor about getting treatment if you need it. Blood pressure control is about taking practical daily steps for long-term heart health without feeling overwhelmed.
Learn more at mybpcontrol.org.
Moving on, Toy Fair 2026 is underway, and joining us now from the show floor is Toy Trends Specialist Jennifer Lynch.
Toy Fair 2026 is here, and we're getting a first look at the toys and trends that are shaping play this year. The new LEGO Duplo 3-in-1 Creative Ramps with Vehicle set lets kids rebuild the bricks into 3 different ramps while learning along the way. Creative Play is also front and center with the Play-Doh Donut Drop Shop play set from Hasbro, where kids can shape, decorate, and serve up their own pretend treats. Crayola announced the Color Wonder Miss Rachel Magic Light and Sound Brush Set, encouraging creative color recognition and learning with the music and sounds of Miss Rachel. Celebrating Pokemon's 30th anniversary, the new Puppetronic Pikachu from Jazzwares and Wow Stuff brings the iconic character to life with new lifelike reactions and expressive movements. And from Mattel, the American Girl Modern Eras collection gives the beloved historical characters fresh contemporary looks while celebrating their heritage. To learn more about Toy Fair, head to toyfairny.com, and to learn more about these playthings, visit thegeniusofplay.org.
One sweet snack is making a positive change in the community. Here's more.
Nutella continues to support firehouses through their Stacks for Giving Back program.
I'm a total Nutella fan, especially on pancakes. My Nutella banana bread pancakes were basically made for it. Stack them up, spread on the Nutella, and wow, perfection. Nutella's calling on you to nominate your local firehouse to potentially receive a Nutella pancake breakfast kit to aid their next pancake breakfast fundraising efforts.
Visit NutellaStacksForGivingBack.com to nominate your fire department.
From the archives of history, Daily Flash presents Old School Flashback.
She may develop a sore throat. Patches of her hair may come out. Or her skin may break out in a rash like this. Then again, the symptoms of secondary syphilis may be so slight that they go unnoticed. If she doesn't go to a doctor, or if a doctor isn't looking for syphilis, it may never be detected.
Well, you'd find it for sure when you had a blood test before you got married. They'd discover it there.
Now, that would be a lovely wedding present for a girl, to discover that she had syphilis a few days before the wedding.
And as depended on one sacred device, the home television, a portal to laughter, heartbreak, and that one weird British baking show you swore you'd only watch once. But after 5 long days of labor, housework, and endless carpool lines, one question still haunts humanity.
What do you binge this weekend? Fear not, the experts are here. Join Daily Flash every Friday for Streaming for the Weekend. Because life's too short for bad TV. Streaming for the Weekend every Friday, only on Daily Flash.
Streaming for the Weekend. Hey everybody, we're going to jump into our social, of course, hearing from you and our question of the day. It's getting some traction already. We definitely want to find out exactly what is a moment, our question of the day, that has completely changed your perspective in life. Did something happen? You're like, you know what? I never thought of it that way. I'm going to start looking at life that way. We love hearing these. We want to share them, not only here on the show, but of course on our website and on our social media.
Doctors have a new perspective when it comes to the temperature in your bedroom at night when you sleep. Do you like hot or cold?
I like cold, so I can get warm.
Yes.
And we have a bed jet. I don't know if you know what that is, but basically it's a
Bed
fan
jet?
that goes into a sheet. Which, by the way, Liza, my wife, said, I only married you for your bed jet because she loves this thing. But anyway, yeah, you could control the heat, how long it stays on. You can also have it cool down, speed up. So cold and then get hot using the
No, I need to know more about this bed jet.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Is it a?
So it's basically just a fan.
It's a fan.
It's about a box, like an air
Okay.
conditioner that goes underneath your bed, and it's got a tube
Underneath
that comes
the bed.
out. And you
Okay.
got to buy these special sheets that it goes into. And actually, they even have some, it's not made by the same company, that will make your bed for you, because what it does is it just lifts it up and kind of does that sort of thing.
the front door.
Check it out. And it really does help you sleep so much better,
Does it
especially if you
really?
have, and you can make it very cold. And listen, BedJet, you need to sponsor our show here, because I'm probably your best spokesperson. I've told more and more people about these things.
Can you do one side cold and one side
You
warm?
can get a model that does that, yes.
Okay.
But this one for our king size bed actually takes
This
care of a
sounds
lot.
amazing. How do I not know about BedJet?
You got to check it out.
Okay,
All right?
I'm interested.
telling you about it now.
Doctors say that if you are sleeping in a really warm or hot room, it's not good for your heart. And they did this study in Australia during the hot summer months, and they were saying it's better when you can regulate your temperature and keep a cooler body temperature when you sleep.
Keep that in mind. Don't eat late, because a lot of times when you wake up hot, it's
Yes.
because your body's metabolizing all that food you ate late, and you wake
Yeah.
up sweating all the time. So try to give yourself about
Point.
2 hours.
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor. I just play one on television. Hey, our website's waiting up for you. You can go there anytime. That does it for today's show.
Yeah. See you tomorrow. Be good, everybody. Mwah.